Money matters greatly. They say legend. What's up, dude? Four things you've already mentioned are absolutely needed for price appreciation: BlackRock ETF, Evernorth, Japan raises interest rates, OCC guidance on stablecoins. We may get stablecoin guidance by Saturday. Thoughts on the others? Good point. Nobody here controls the OCC and FinCEN and FINRA and the Treasury on when they're going to be issuing guidance on stablecoins so that banks can start, you know, rolling those out at scale. But they did say they are rushing to get that done by Saturday, which is interesting to me that they would be rushing. I feel like they probably have had it ready for a while. The comment periods ended literally months ago. But here we are, down to the day. And I think it's very timely when they're doing it. I think we are on the precipice of things unwinding here with where everything sits. And if we do have something tomorrow or over the weekend that pushes oil, it'll be the straw that breaks the camel's back. So, do we see Evernorth and BlackRock this month? So, the legislation in Japan was interesting. I don't know if you guys caught this or not, but they passed a crypto bill that moved capital gains tax down to 20% on crypto, and they made it where they can launch ETFs in Japan. Up to this point, their stock market has not had ETFs on it, but the legislation they just passed now allows for that. So it wouldn't surprise me to see SBI launch an XRP ETF there in Japan. I don't know how long that's going to take. Their regulatory body that oversees securities issuance probably is going to have to go through the same type of, crawl, walk, run like we did here in the US, where they allow a few of them through and then they get to some type of agreement where it has to be structured this way and meet this criteria, and then it'll be easy to launch them there in Japan. So, but I do expect SBI to launch some type of XRP ETF, or, some of the other, maybe even 3IQ. I don't know. Monarchs is who owns them. Large Japanese company. They're one of the largest ETF issuers in foreign markets. They had the first Solana ETF up there in Canada. So I wouldn't be surprised to see them issue an ETF for XRP over there in Japan. But with that legislation, that kind of opens the door for that. And that's where the institutional money can come in at scale. Institutions are still leery to hold the asset itself. They don't have the infrastructure for it. It's still ambiguous to them, and so to have an allocation to an ETF that has a QSIP, if it's domestic on our stock exchange, or a securities identity listed on another stock exchange that represents